Will the United States Supreme Court approve and legitimize Trump's authoritative coup? Is there a guarded conspiracy to establish a new world order? By Legrand Anthony. The Bible explicitly states, "In the latter days there shall be a new world order, composed of an alliance of 10 nations." Revelations 13, 1-6. This confederation of 10 nations shall seize power, ascend to the throne, take office, and assume control as a new world governmental power only after this 10-nation alliance destroys the ruling world power with fire. Revelation 17, 16-18.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called, and chosen, and faithful. And he saith unto me, The waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes, and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled.
Revelation 17, 16-18. Is it possible Donald Trump, the United States Supreme Court, and Elon Musk attempt to disassemble, disarm, weaken, dissolve, and alienate the United States of America from all nations be the genesis of Revelations 17:16? Since World War II, the United States of America has undeniably been the ruling world power. Is there another country that fits the description of the whore described in the book of Revelation? It is not an unreasonable proposition that a conspiracy to destroy the ruling world power will be executed to establish the new world order prophesied in Revelation 13. Nor is it unreasonable to suggest the United States Supreme Court could be one of the secretive participants of a conspiracy to fulfill Revelations 17:16. Consider this. It is patently clear Donald Trump has decided to not obey federal court orders that prohibit him from dismantling and destroying the federal government. Donald Trump has made it patently clear he will neither recognize nor be governed by the U.S. Constitution. This bold and illegal unilateral disregard of the United States Constitution and disregard interpretations of federal laws exclusively reserved to the judicial branch of government in the United States Constitution will cause the American public to strongly oppose a Trump coup. Trump will need the support of the United States Supreme Court to legitimize the end of American democracy. The only way a majority of the American population will begrudgingly accept Trump's desire to become an American king and disannulment of democracy as we know it, there must be a scintilla of legitimacy that supports Trump's ambitious coup. Several federal district court judges ruled against Trump's executive orders. After Trump refused to comply with several United States district court judges' orders, Trump suggested that one of the judges who ruled against his executive order be impeached. Subsequent to Trump's impeachment declaration, the chief judge of the United States Supreme Court made a public statement that Trump should not suggest a judge be impeached because Trump disagrees with the judge's ruling, but rather appeal the judge's order. Should this unusual public advice by the chief judge of the U.S. Supreme Court raise a red flag and eyebrows? Why did the chief judge think it necessary to make this statement? Trump has an army of lawyers. Was the chief judge signifying to Trump that Trump should effectuate his coup in a manner that would be more acceptable to the American public? Was the chief judge signifying to Trump that Trump's executive orders would be held constitutional by the United States Supreme Court? A ruling by the United States Supreme Court in Trump's favor would be the scintilla of legitimacy needed for the American public to begrudgingly accept the dismissal of American democracy as defined by the Founding Fathers in the United States Constitution. With the legal support of the United States Supreme Court, Trump cannot be considered a tyrant or dictator, but rather a new age democratic leader. Trump's destruction of American democracy would be declared legal and legitimate, because the United States Supreme Court's interpretation of Trump's executive orders did not conflict with the United States Constitution. According to the Constitution, the United States Supreme Court is the final and only branch of government authorized to interpret what is legal and constitutional. Marbury versus Madison. Without the legal support of the United States Supreme Court, any nefarious attempt to destroy American democracy as we know it, and the ruling world power that is the United States of America Incorporated, would cause an uproar and maximum resistance by the American population. Why does Trump need the United States Supreme Court support? When a perceived legitimate governmental entity gives its approval, the American population will accept a detrimental outcome just because the governmental entity approved of the action taken. Example, the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, approves of foods and drugs that constantly are later found to cause cancer or death. However, these detrimental effects are accepted by the American population as natural acts of life just because these deadly foods and drugs were approved by the FDA. If America remains a democracy as defined in the United States Constitution, it will be the end of white rulership, white supremacy, and white privilege.
What do you do when you've done all you can? Seems like it's never enough. Tell me, what do you say when your friends turn away? You're left all alone, yeah. Tell me, what do you give? Yes, Lord. When you give in your all, seems like you can't make it through. Well, you just stand when there's nothing left to do. You just stand and watch the Lord see you through. After you've done all you can, you just stand. Tell me, how do you handle the guilt of your past, Tell me, how do you deal with the shame? Tell me, how can you smile while your heart has been broken, so filled with pain? Oh, tell me, what do you give? Yes. After you've given your all, seems like you can't make it. Well, you just stand when there's nothing left to do. Go on and stand. Just watch the Lord see you through. Yes, after you've done all you can, you just stand and be sure. Be not entangled in that bondage again. You just stand and you endure. For God has a purpose. Yes, God has a plan. Tell me, what do you do when you've done all that you can, and it seems like you can't make it through? Help me here, child. You just